Yo, this is the Force USA 45-degree ultimate leg press hack squat combo. But is it any good? We'll find out. I bought this used, so I can't really talk on packaging and delivery. Usually you guys skip through that anyway, but I can talk assembly. While the instructions are pretty straightforward, I wouldn't say it's easy. With how many pieces are in this, there's 28 pages worth of instructions, which obviously is very meticulous to go through. It would probably take around 2, maybe 3 hours to assemble all of this. But like I said, I bought it mostly assembled, so I can't give you an exact time frame for it. Some of it was assembled incorrectly. And so I had to go through and check every single piece to make sure the parts were there or not, because some were missing. And then I had to disassemble and reassemble as necessary. What was great was that Force USA worked with me on it, so that when I found out what pieces were missing, I just told Force USA what was up, and they sent me those specific parts, so I only got charged for those parts. I know that sometimes you have to buy whole assemblies when really you don't need every part in the assembly, so Force USA was A1 for that. The parts were kind of pricey at $120, but all in, I was pretty happy with this purchase. The only tools you'll need for this is a Phillips P2, preferably P3, but P2 works. If you have Olympic plates, because that's what holds the sleeves on to the 1-inch standard, and 2 9/16" wrenches, which fit literally every bolt. 14mm would be preferred because these are metric, but 9/16" wrench works. Alternatively, you can also have 2 adjustable wrenches, which is basically what I use for all my assembly in the gym. Now on to specifications. Starting with dimensions, we're looking at a 64.5" width, an 80" height at its max point, meaning this is as high as it can go, and 96" depth. The weight horns are 13.5 inches. The storage weight horns are 8 inches, and the weight horns underneath are also 8 inches. The upper foot plate is 24 by 17.5 inches. The lower foot plate is 24 by 26 inches. Both foot plates have a super grippy powdered coat, which I actually prefer over something like diamond plating or a rubber coat, because diamond plating is sometimes slippery, and then a rubber coating just fades and loses its grip somewhat quickly. Whereas this seems built to last. Speaking of coating, all of this is laser cut 13 gauge powder coated steel. The joints and the stress points are at 11 gauge. Good stuff. This leg press is rated for 1,000 pounds, and it has 4 weight horns for you to use to get to that weight cap. The leg press is angled 45 degrees, like the name says. And because of that angle, you actually only feel around 70% of the weight you put on. If you want real numbers for that, I can squat 315, but I can leg press 450 for reps. And that would make sense because 70% of 450 is 315. But when you're squatting, you are also doing your own body weight, which is why I can actually do less of 315 than I can of 450 on a leg press. Pro tip, the higher your heels are, the more hamstring you're using. The lower your feet are, the more quads you're using. I like doing it kind of in the center, and I do like a more sloped angle because that simulates a raised heel. You can see the angle of my ankle right here. If I was on flat ground, this would be a raised heel. While designed in the USA, the name could be a little misleading as this is manufactured in China. We're moving on to what I like to call the how is portion of the video. Starting with how is comfortability. There's really only 3 positions to talk about comfortability. The leg press, the hack squat, and the forward thrust. The cushions for all those positions are exquisite. When you're doing the leg press, even though I put all my weight and 450 pounds on solely the back pad, I cannot feel the foot plate underneath. And when doing a calf raise with 450 pounds, with my arms down, it's a little uncomfortable, but not any more uncomfortable than a barbell squat. With my arms raised, the weight is evenly distributed on my upper arm, comfortable. I've actually never done the forward thrust on this until this video, but that was actually pretty comfortable, and I'd prefer to do that over the hack squat just because I felt good with it. For the hack squat, I can only do around 90 pounds, so that doesn't help my ego, and you know, like, it doesn't even really feel that comfortable to me. How is mobility? So this thing is a pain in the keister to move. Even with no plates on it, this is 400 pounds. Granted, we did move it in one of my other videos when we were redesigning the layout of my gym, but we had a dolly underneath, and then it was not too bad to move because this is the half that's weighted. I just slid the dolly underneath here and then just picked up this and shuffled it away. Still more annoying than other things, but not too bad. With that 400 pounds, how is stability? That 400 pounds makes this stable as all get out. When you're utilizing the weight horns on both sides, you can pack the weight onto one side with no issue, no fear of this tipping over. I can't speak on if there's no weight on the other side, but all weight horns being used, stable. So how is space? I did mention dimensions earlier, and this is 64.5 inches wide. But that isn't all the width that you would need, because when you're putting on plates, I would say you would want at least 6 inches on either side so you could comfortably put on plates. But for convenience sake, you would probably want at least a foot so that you could kind of squeeze in to put these on. Right now we have a decent amount on either side, which I'm thankful for. And that makes it so that it's easy for us to slap on those weights. So how is feel? As far as feel goes, I feel like you should like this video. all right. Compared to the feel of something at a big box gym like 24 Hour Fitness or LA Fitness that uses things like hammer strength or hoist, this is very comparable. Sometimes even better than those, because the 45-degree angle lets you feel more of the weight. And some of the hoist machines and hammer strength machines are at around 30 degrees. I've used hammer strength and hoist at other gyms, and I feel like this compares very well to it. And it's even better for home gym use because 1, it's over half the price, and 2, this isn't just a leg press, it's a hack squat leg press combo. And the adjustability on this thing, man. 9 band peg adjustments, 8 weight horns, we don't talk about 7, 6 hack squat levels, 5 leg press angles, 4 calf raise levels, 4 starting positions, 3 safety pin positions, 2 band pegs and a singular safety pin. How is the change speed? I don't know if you're going to be supersetting hack squats and leg presses. I guess you could superset leg press and maybe calf raise, but the change from leg press to hack squat is very easy, and vice versa. Moving on to costs, it costs you nothing to subscribe to my channel. If it turns out you hate me later on, drop me like a 130-pound dumbbell. Base price on this big boy is $1,900. And while that is half the price of hammer strength at its 4K, it's still not a price that most people can afford. And there are definitely cheaper options out there. So if you only want to do leg press, there are some that are sub $700. $1,900 is the base price when it's not on sale, and shipping is free. Currently they have a sale going on for $200 off, and you can have a military or first responders discount on top of that, which is 10% off. But that would still be $1,530. Still a lot of money. Moving on to cons, the biggest con is that you didn't actually subscribe when I asked you to 30 seconds ago. But besides that, these weight horns not coming off sucks, because that adds an extra 26 inches to the width of the whole thing. If these could be able to come off, then you can use the ones underneath and it would save you so much space. Another con is that the headrest bends back a little bit when you're leg pressing. And because of that, it does take out the staples on the back of it. An important con is that the safety pin, while it does have 3 positions, even the highest one is super low. Why do my legs have to be inside my rib cage for the safety to stop the leg press? It's a little too low. Another con is that while the 400 pounds really helps with stability, I'm going to be moving it at that 400 pounds. Because if we ever move from this house, there's no chance I am disassembling this. It was way too much work. I would rather just move it as it is, regardless of that 400 pounds. A con when doing the calf raises is that this non-slip plate isn't welded on or anything, so it is warping a bit because of my immense weight. A con on this side of the machine, when changing the hack squat angle, there is a little bit of getting used to that comes with it. For me, I'm used to just putting my hand underneath, pulling the pin, and picking the level that I want. However, my wife doesn't like doing that, and she is a little fearful of guillotining her hand off.
Surrender your hand to the heart of the warrior.
That's probably a horrible trap. Tell him.
It's a horrible trap.
To me, there's no fear of it, but that is something that you would have to get used to, and you can't exactly see the pin when you're reaching underneath to pull it out. A con about changing so quickly is that it does do it fast. If you've got a need for speed, this is it. But it doesn't come without consequences. You can see that it's scraping it up to heck and back. The huge con about the sleeves is that the end caps are actually plastic. You can see that the plates are really affecting the look of this. Instead of cheaping out, I feel like they should have gone with the chrome plated steel that they used everywhere else, but that only really affects the aesthetic of the leg press. Any questions about this, put in the comments below, and as always, you better sub for more in-depth till death reviews. Stay hungry.
I want you to stay there a bit longer. Go back. There's one